Hi, I'm Megan.
And I'm Adriana.
And this is Melissa.
And we're here to teach you about the process of decision making, an occurrence that happens in everyday life.
And it's true. Right now, there's a situation going on that requires a big decision to be made. Let's go take a look.
Yo, Adriana, you want some of this?
What is it? You know, I'm not sure about this. If I get caught, I could get in a lot of trouble.
Adriana, don't worry about this, okay? I literally have this on me all the time and I've never gotten caught before.
You know, I'll think about it and text you, okay?
Okay.
Go.
Hey, what's up, Adriana? Actually, I know what's up.
Oh, you heard?
Yes. Oh my gosh, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. I really need some help. What's your advice on the situation?
I think you should take it.
Really?
You're gonna be so popular, so cool. You don't even know.
But I can get in
this could
so
be a big
much
break for you.
trouble.
No, it's okay. You get in a little bit of trouble. It's okay.
I could really get arrested.
Hey,
for
but
this.
Melissa is really good at hiding this stuff, so you should trust her.
That's true. She is pretty good. She's pretty experienced on this situation. You know what? I'm gonna text her about it. You know, I think I might accept this actually.
Hope you make the right decision.
Okay, I'll definitely text you about it.
It'll make you cooler.
Okay.
See you later.
She says you've done wrong. And your best defense so far is,
I don't know.
Adriana, what's wrong?
You know, today this one girl that I know, she offered me drugs. I don't know what to do. Do you have any advice?
Adriana, you can't take it.
But if I don't take it, I won't look cool. She'll think I'm stupid or something.
That doesn't matter. Getting caught with drugs could ruin your life. It could ruin everything you've been working for.
I don't want to seem stupid in front of this girl.
I don't think you should do it, but I think you have a big decision to make. The situation you just witnessed here is something that happens in our everyday lives, decision making. Now you may be wondering, what is decision making?
Decision making is a cognitive process that involves making a single choice between some alternatives.
In this scenario, we have two alternatives. One is for Adriana to accept the drugs, look cool, but possibly get in trouble. And the other alternative is for Adriana not to accept the drugs, which means she could not look cool, but she won't get in trouble. Decision making requires a lot of thinking. Thinking is modifying the information given during the encoding, retrieval, and storage phases of memory into lesser parts or into certain categories, resulting in bringing certain information together, otherwise known as synthesizing.
Normative models describe the way thinking should be. Having lots of time to decide what is right versus wrong, correct versus incorrect, but since Adriana has only a few hours, she cannot decipher all the possible ways that is right and all the possible ways what is wrong. She knows drugs are bad, but she also wants to look cool. Adriana has to use formal logic, which is a combination of two premises that ends with a conclusion. In this example, I take the drugs, I look cool. I don't take the drugs, I don't look cool.
In this scenario, an experiment that explains why Adriana made this decision is the study of Folkman and Lazarus 1988. The two psychologists argue that individuals respond to negative emotion in one of two ways, problem-focused or emotion-focused coping.
In this case, Adriana focused more on emotional coping. She wanted to minimize the negative emotions with her decision rather than making a quality decision. The negative emotions in this case was social pressure from the drug dealer.
The research Payne et al. 1988. This research consisted of 16 participants to choose between sets of gambling options, with each set containing 4 options and each option having 4 possible outcomes that ranged from winning 1 cent to $9.99. In condition 1, participants could take as long as they'd like to reach a decision, while in condition 2, they only had 15 seconds. It was found that, as expected, when under time pressure, participants selected less available information to consider and spent less time considering this information than they would if they would have had an unlimited amount of time. Participants also used processing strategies that focused on what they perceived as the most important aspects of available information. This supports the idea that people vary their decision-making strategies in response to environmental conditions, for example, time constraints.
There are two main approaches to thinking and decision making. The first of these approaches is the IPA, Information Processing Approach, which sees humans as a very selective about which available information they attend to and how they use it. Beliefs and preferences are constructed through this decision making process, through this approach. This is where heuristics are most commonly seen. Heuristics involve a simpler decision-making process which involves shortcuts because only relevant information is being focused on. There are several types of heuristics that have been identified.
Another heuristic that is involved in this decision-making process is majority of confirming decisions. Options are evaluated in pairs on all important aspects of the decision-making process. The options are compared against each other until the winning option is decided on. Another heuristic is elimination by aspects. This involves rejecting options that do not meet a minimum level on the most important aspects.
The other approach to decision-making and thinking is the dual process model, which focuses on two systems, because the dual process model sees thinking as occurring on a continuum. System 1 is intuitive, mainly unconscious, and System 2 is more analytic, controllable, and conscious. The IPA is part of this approach, but the dual process approach allows for more of System 1 thinking aspects to shine through. The correction model argues that the initial decision making occurs through System 1, and the decision is then confirmed by System 2. Research surprisingly shows that System 1 produces better decision making than System 2 because an unconscious thought is an active process that organizes information and memory into schematas.
Scenario, Adriana uses the information processing approach to making her decision. This is due to her taking a more analytical and conscious approach to her decision rather than making an impulsive and unconscious decision. This is because this is a rather serious decision that could jeopardize her whole social status.
Another part of the information processing approach is the adaptive decision-making framework, which focuses upon choice in decision-making with preferential choice problems where these decisions are solved by acquiring and evaluating information. In this framework, the accuracy of decision-making and the ease of justifying your actions to others is maximized, while the negative emotions in a choice and the cognitive efforts are minimalized. In this scenario, Adriana wants to be able to justify her decision to her friends, her peers, and herself, so she maximizes that element of her decision-making in order to please those around her.
Emotions play a big role in the decision-making process. There are several factors that are important to consider when deciding between available options. The factors mentioned by Megan are minimalized and maximized during the decision-making process. In some cases, though, the active decision-making involves negative emotions that lead to simplifying the strategies used to pick between available options. This leads to cognitive performances being worsened through the decisions taking longer to arrive at impossible error in the choice made. In this scenario, negative emotions are created by the vastly different opinions by her peers, which played a role in her making the decision she thought was best for her.
You know what? I've made my decision. I'm not gonna take the drugs. I'm gonna text her right now.